Insidious Chapter 2 was directed by James Wan, and this film follows up the events of the first film as Josh Lambert seems to be different. He seems to be a different person than what he was before. And it's very noticeable as they begin to go into trying to figure out what's going on, and, well, it's a horror movie that is Insidious franchise, but whatever. Um, I gotta say, this honestly is probably my one of my favorite horror sequels by far, by far. This film goes ahead and it begins on scary things. It gets right to the point. It gets right to the point. That's what I like about it. It goes right into it. One of the things that I like about because they have this alternate world called the Further. It's like this ghost world that you pass through and into who knows where. And what I like is that anything can happen in that world. Anything. And it doesn't even matter. So this film has that essentially since Josh's real version of himself is in the Further, they show that events from the first film were actually from him. So they kind of show those events. They show certain things. But this film just honestly was really good. I didn't expect that from this movie. I thought it was going to be one of those. Well, I knew it was going to be good because, that's what it was. But this film wasn't scary to me. The jump scares didn't really get me. There was a problem of mine with this film, and it was mainly by the screenplay, where it felt like Lee Winnell, who also stars in the film, Aspects. He, my issue with it is the screenplay is that there are times where they don't set up a scare right. They don't do it good. Like there are scenes. There's a scene where they see some these those horse toys that sway and they do that. I forgot what they call those, but um they have a scene with them and then they inspect it. Like they just slowly walk to it, and all of a sudden the kid comes out from nowhere, laughing away. But my issue with it was that I was like, come on, you guys could have done that better, and that was mainly because I think it was from the just because Lee Winnell didn't really set up that scare right, and I think that's my problem with it. Is he didn't set up the scare properly, so then it didn't turn into that great of a scare scene. That's it. There's a lot of creepy stuff with like the woman in the white dress. There's a scene where Renee is walking through the hall and through the open who knows what. You can see her just sitting, and I was like, oh, that's what I want out of modern horror. I was like, to me that is what I want from horror. I again, I'm fine with jump scares. They could be done right. They can. They could be done correctly. They could be done well, but I think creepy stuff is better than anything else. This film genuinely actually does that a lot. It sells you on a creep factor. And that's what I want from modern horror. I want them to like take this demon thing, put it here, and be kind of like if the audience notices it, they're gonna be rewarded with being creeped out. That's what I would do with a horror film. I'd probably say I'd be like I would put something like just like a character's walking through a hall and like right in a room where you can't see it. It's right there. It's just right there. It's right there, and they don't even notice it. And for me, it's like if the audience pays attention enough, then they're gonna be rewarded with being creeped out. That's what I want from modern horror, and I want to see that. I want to see them try to do that, and there was a lot of that. But again, I didn't really find this film scary. Sadly, I think the only horror film with jump scares that genuinely had me on the edge of my seat, which I'm currently on the edge of my seat right now, was The Conjuring by James Wan, because he is my all-time favorite horror director. He, I think I said this in my Insidious review and how he sets up a scare. He creates an atmosphere to it, even if the scare scene isn't as well written out. Because again, that's actually the truth of me. It's that the kid runs by, but I was like, if Lee Winnell spent more time on setting that, like they approach, the horses, and they're like, well, nothing's here, nothing, like no rat went by or something, and then the jump scare happened. Then I think it probably would have worked better. That's just me. I don't want to say that. Oh, I could write a better horror film than what he did. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Though I, pro- Though I probably could. I just honestly just think that there are things about this film that they could have done better on. I love how the third act is like this big shining moment where Josh is trying to kill his family because since this old man's spirit is in him, he's slowly deteriorating. His skin is slowly, he's getting old, essentially. He's losing his teeth because he's old. His body is deteriorating. The more it deteriorates, the more he's gonna die. Josh will cease to exist. That's how good it is. That's how freaking good it is. And, hope you don't notice if I do this. But, whatever. I had a shower and my hair is dry. I just simply, I honestly just think that this film is what I want from jump scare horror. It's fun. It just goes ahead and begins with it. Now sometimes that could be bad. Sometimes you could begin your film and show all the creepy jump scaring things, and it could just be bad. But if you do it right, then I think you could do a good job. But I do think that depends on screenplay. That's the thing about it. If you ask me, oh, do you think the screenplay would be too big of a budget? I'd be like, well, I don't know. I have to read the whole thing to really see if it was. It is. I don't know. Because I feel like a screenplay is what determines if a film is too big of a budget. That's just me, though. Man, this is such a good movie. I enjoy it. It's so good. I'm gonna watch this again until it's no longer I can watch it. So I'm gonna give Insidious Chapter 2 an A minus. I would give it an A plus, but I had my problems with it. So, anyways, yeah. Subscribe, like or dislike, share. You know what to do. I'll see you guys later.